here we go, guys. Armani's Fairy Treehouse. Is it not fabulous? This is my first ever project that I've ever done with my granddaughter. It's the first fairy treehouse I've ever made. It's the first lamp I've ever made. It's the first time I've ever used egg carton mache. And the technique for that is provided by Creative Mum in her tutorial, one of her tutorial videos. A lot of the stuff here is absolutely new to me, and I just love how it's turned out. I just think it's fabulous. So this here is the front of the house, of course, and I'm just going to show you some of the aspects of it. If you want to talk about more other things, or you have questions, just leave them in the comments, and I will reply to them as I get to them. So let's start with this. Here is, of course, the top of the bottle. When I first went to, I'll give you the story. When I first designed, or drafted the first design, well, one and only design for this fairy tree house, I was going to do it in a steampunky theme, and that was my idea. So this was just me roughly sketching it out and thinking, yeah, I could do this and what I could make it with and yada yada yada. And as you can see, it has changed, but the basis of the structure is still there, and I just love it. I'm just really, really proud of the work that I did and of my granddaughter's input in her first project. Here we go. So this here is the door. I just want to point out this part here. So as part of cultural creations, any of the creations made, there will always be a design element that portrays your cultural aspect, or your cultural identity, your cultural spirituality, your cultural creativity. It doesn't matter how big or small, it will always be inputted into whatever creation, transformation is created within cultural creation spectrum. Oh, that sounds flash. Yeah, I'm trying to sound clever. I'm not sure if I'm pulling it off, but it works for me. It's all good. Okay, so this is the front of the house, and in this design, I wanted to show, because it's a lamp, I wanted a lot of the bottle to show as for the windows and the doors, because I wanted it to be a bright night light for my granddaughter. So it's going to sit beside her bed. As I made it, I also added more elements to it, realising that I actually wanted it to, I don't want it just to be functional and practical, I also want it to be fun, and I want you to be able to play with it. No, I don't want you to just have to stare at it and say, oh yeah, that's cool. I actually want to put elements in it so that she can actually play. And she did ask me if we could open the doors, but I haven't learnt that part yet, that technique, and I'm thinking about it. Might have to come in the next one, or the next one's on how to do that. So the doors don't open, but it was fun. It was so much fun creating and designing and developing as we went along and coming up with this creation. So this is Armani's Fairy Treehouse. Aren't all four-year-old girls lovely when they think of these things? So this was her whimsical wish, was to make this. Now, a lot of the things I've used in here, the techniques and the methods and the materials, oh, excuse me, apologies for that, were given from the videos that I watched of Creative Mum. So a lot of well, I said techniques, but a lot of the methods all of the methods in that come from her videos, but I've taken them and put them all into this. So the main material I used all recyclable. So you've got recycled bottles, you've got cardboard, you've got toilet rolls, you've got newspaper, you've got tin foil. We don't use a lot of tin foil. If you watch a lot of Creative Mum's videos, you'll see that she uses a lot of tin foil. Well, it's quite expensive here in New Zealand to use it that way. So this is used tin foil, which I wiped down and then repurposed, if you will. And instead of using that, I started looking for other things to use. So for all these other cubes and elements, I used newspaper instead of rolled-up newspaper, which works just as well, if you can see. Now the other thing that was used for this is egg carton mesh. So Creative Mum has how to create egg carton paper mache, and it's just fabulous. It's cheap, it's easy to work with, and easy to manipulate. Okay, and you get better as you go along. So this texture is all the egg carton. All of the different textures in that. Even the texture in the cheese is just how it came out. The hills, they're all part of the egg carton paper mesh. So very versatile. I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. The other thing that she used, I actually um, used on this, and that to do the front porch, and that's not this golden stuff, but the underneath is actually plaster of Paris, or what we call putty. It's, putty that you fill in window gaps with. That's what this whole porch is used with, on top of a cardboard. So on top of the cardboard layout. So and I did it quite thick. Well, actually, I put it over the top of over newspaper that I had rolled up in curls. So, and then I just covered it, and that made it really hard. So this here, the gold part, is actually sand that I got. Believe it or not, this is actually golden sand from the top half of the North Island here in New Zealand that you can get off any beach. So, and I've actually had this since 1993 in a bottle, and I finally found a use for it. But I've kept it all that long because that's actually the part of New Zealand that my husband is from, is where the sand comes from. So not only sentimental, but useful as well. There you go. This here is, of course, the harbour. Now, I did that as a way to hide the battery pack for the lights, the fairy lights, which I will turn on once I've gone for a quick squiz around. Here we go. So this is the treehouse part of Armani's fairy treehouse. So she absolutely loved and adored doing this. I got her. I showed her how to roll the newspaper and hot glue gunned it on, and look how it turned out when you roll it and then you place it, you glue it, and then when you put the paper mache, it just falls in really lovely. But you also need to sculpt it too. So it was my first attempt at learning how to sculpt, because I've never done that either. So sculpting this is a great egg carton mache, paper mache, sorry. Learning to sculpt with that before clay. Well, I've never used clay. That's my next thing. Just gave me a bit more confidence to say, yeah, I think I can give it a go. So anyway, of course, there's little embellishments. So these I got from our $2 shop here, or discount shop, and yeah, of course they're $2.50 for a pack, and they come in a big roll. I've had it for ages though, this and the flowers, so I was able to use it. Majority of actually everything on here has cost me nothing, or hasn't cost me to build it, because I either already had it, or it's recyclable materials. Actually, I lie. Sorry. The things that I did buy, the one thing I did buy, were these little creatures. these here. I wanted to add a bit of life to the lamp, to the treehouse. But as I could only find these here, and I got them from Spotlight. I'm sorry, I can't remember the price of the packet. I think it was about $4, but don't quote me on that. But they're buttons, so I found them in the sewing area, if you believe it, and they're actual buttons. So what I've done is I've actually stuck them down to make them look like, well, of course they're part of the scenery and to give the scenery a bit of life. And you know what it made me want to do is to actually make miniatures, to actually learn how to do clay. So that's my next to-do project. So another thing that I learnt to do while I was creating this is a water feature. So I watched a few of those YouTubes, and my favourite one is Tenshi, I think it is, and I'll put the link to his videos or her videos in the descriptions with Creative Mums. Now, fabulous. I mean, theirs are just beyond, but at least I gave it a go, and if you look far off it looks amazing, and when you turn the lights on you just go, oh yeah, that's definitely a water feature. So when I turn on the fairy lights, which I will do soon enough, you'll see how fabulous it really looks. So just don't take a close look up. So that's it till I get a little bit better. So for our first one, this here is the back door. And yet it still looks like a front door. I think, now someone was saying that to me, I think it was my daughter. I said, that still looks like a front door, Mum. I said, no, it's the back. And the style we did it in, if you can see it, so this is the toilet. This is a toilet roll. The style we did this in was Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit house. So that's what my granddaughter asked for, is the Hobbit door. I want a Hobbit door. And also, she wanted it pink. So that's... there you go. So these are the little elements she came up with that are amazing. She also wanted an attic window with a fairy in it. So since I didn't know how to make a fairy, I got her to put a fairy stick on it. She loves it. She thinks it's amazing. That's amazing, Nina. I love it. It's a beautiful 4-year-old. Okay, now, more of the little creatures, more fairy windows, with that little steampunky kind of feel on it. Now this here, I just want to point out to everyone, these stairs are my granddaughter's. She created these stairs, believe it or not. And they're also magical because you can see the fairies underneath. I'm going to turn on the lights. But I says to her, I remember we finished the door and how it was going to look, and I said to her, oh darling, we're going to need some stairs. So while I was fluffing around on this side, she came along and created the stairs. This is my 4-year-old. So this is her. Yeah, Nan, there's your stairs. And all I had to do was glue them in. And of course, egg meche them to make them look real. So this looks really cool. This is awesome stuff. I've never used any of this stuff, so this is why I'm so fascinated with it. And I can see why, I've having a look at it, I realised that it's actually probably what model trains are made of. Anyway, yeah, I'm getting on long-winded. Anyway, this one here is the balcony room. So my granddaughter wanted a balcony, and she wanted a French door, but I have no idea how to make a French door, honey. So this is what we got here. And she also wanted a chimney and a balcony. So we put all those through. So this here is all done with egg cartons underneath, and then we put the egg carton paper mache on the top. And that gave it the hilly feel, and all of this is just amazing. This here is toilet roll. And if you have a look up here, this is the top of the chimney. Now that is just blue coloured paper, and then there's a bit of a pattern underneath, but it blocks off the top of the bottle. So this is the top of the bottle, but that's the flash chimney. I put it in a steampunky kind of feel rather than normal chimney, because, just think outside the box. And, of course, added some beautiful butterflies. And there we go. So this here is made with bamboo from a bamboo basket that's broken. So I've put all the bamboo pieces in a box and have found a use for them. This here that looks like rope is actually flax, and of course a bit of jute on the side. So all of it gives the fairy tree house wonderful life. Okay, but what makes this so amazing is if we just switch on the fairy lights. So there we go. So here we go. I'm just gonna, ta-da! You see why you can get mesmerised with the lights. So there's the fairy lights. They change colour. So these are the coloured lights that I've got inside. And it just makes it look like fairy magic. So that's what I said to my granddaughter. The fairy magic is inside the house, hun, because the fairies are singing and dancing and having a party inside. Here we go. I'll just show you we'll just give you a quick squiz around before Here we go. See, I told you, from afar and with the lights on, it looks like an amazing water feature. Awesome for a first time, and that's what I reckon anyway. And the secret passageway to the hidden door. Okay. You can see, have a look at all the nooks and crannies that we have around here. The secret windows, the fabulousness, the attic window, the door, and of course the fairy light, the fairies under the stairs. So each of these little whimsical little aspects are something my granddaughter inputted, would mention, and I'd sit there and think, okay, I'm going to have to figure out how to do that, how to fit that in, and yep, I can do that, or let's think of something else, honey, and then I'd have to create a story around it. So while we were doing this, designing this and doing this together, we would actually tell stories. I'd actually create stories with each thing that we built. And and she absolutely loved it. And it was a great bonding project. And so this, I recommend get into doing that and into making these recycled bottle fairy lamps or recycled fairy houses using recycled bottles, and because it's heaps of fun. Excuse me. Now that I've finished the house and the lamp, I now realise I actually want to make fairies to that my granddaughter can move around and play with. I want to make little miniature furniture and things to just give it a bit more life, and then she can play with them all and then leave them on here and then just have fun with it. Really enjoy and have fun with it. But I love it. I love it. And so I'd say if you are stuck for something, or are stuck for something to create, or have no idea, give one of these a go. Do your basic design and then just go for it. Go for gold. And it's amazing what you end up creating. As you can see, I've got more and more elaborate. So this was never meant to be part of it. It was just meant to be the lamp. Next minute I've got a front porch and I've got ocean. And if I knew how to do epoxy resin, I would try and do 3D flowers, but that's 3D fishes, 3D fish. But that's for more, a few more videos in practice, I would say. But go out and enjoy your next project. As I said, if you need or want to know anything, just throw it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and your thoughts. I absolutely love and adore it. I'm so glad that I sat down and did this project with my granddaughter, who I just love and adore. Okay, so that is me, and that is me showing you my my granddaughter's fairy tree house. I love calling it the fairy tree house. And doing your show and tell and showing off really pretty much about how awesome, how much I love this, how awesome this is. So right now I am now off to watch videos on how to make fairies in miniatures. I'm going to have to watch a few of those before I give it a go. You never know. So I need to make them for her fairy tree house that she can play with, so I can actually give it to her. The funny thing about this is that it's a quick story. Is that she actually wanted to take it with her. She loved it so much. She wanted to take it with her when it was only half finished, you know. I said to her, oh no, darling, I've just got to finish it off. And then I just kept adding more and more things to it. So now I want to make miniatures. I need to get into it and then give it to my granddaughter. And then start on the next one. Because I've got another granddaughter who's asked for a ladybug house. So that's a whole new different thing I have to look at. Anyway, I hope to see you in my next video, which will be, well, clay miniatures. I've never done that before, so there's always room for a new video in this first time series. Anyway, until next time, as we say, mā te wā. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and hey, go out and go and make your one. Go and make yours. And I would love to see it. I'd love to see if, you know, what yours looks like and how you did with your techniques, or if you have better suggestions, or not better suggestions, other suggestions that would work. Okay, I've loved sharing this with you. I better hurry up and go. Okay, here we go. Okay. Mā te wā, hei kona.